Hey everyone, Nitron here. Today we'll be going over part 9 of the Murder at Caste Nathria Theorycrafts. Today we'll be covering Warlock. If you're interested in seeing the Demon Hunter, Druid, Hunter, Mage, Paladin, Priest, Rogue, or Shaman decks, check out the last 8 videos. And tomorrow we'll be covering Warrior. So for Warlock we only have one deck list, primarily because this set introduces a very heavy Imp package, as well as a somewhat small Shadow package, of which this deck uses both. If we look at the shell of the list, we can see about half of the Imp package, starting with Flame Imp, a very aggressive and strong 1-drop. Wicked Shipment, a very solid tradable card that upgrades and summons more Imps over time. Imp Swarm, which scales up at 5 and 10 mana and gives us more stats onto the board. Fiendish Circle, which summons 4 Imps for 1 card. Imp Gain Boss, which counts as both an Imp and summons more Imps. Piggyback Imp, which gives us 2 Imps for 1 card. Shady Bartender, a solid tradable card that also gives us a massive board buff in this style of deck. And finally, Dreadlich Tamsin, which puts in rifts into our deck that summon more Imps. If you look at the full list, we can see the rest of our Imp package, as well as our Shadow package. Starting with the Flustered Librarian of the Imp package, a very strong 1-drop that gets buffed for each Imp we have on the board. Impending Catastrophe, a very strong cycle card for the list. Vile Library, a very strong location for this deck that gives us massive buffs for all the Imps we control. Mischievous Imp, which has a very powerful infuse effect of summoning 2 copies of the minion to give us a lot of stats on board for 4 mana. And finally, one of our main legendaries we build the deck around, Imp King Rafam, which resurrects 4 friendly Imps that have died during the game, and has a very powerful infuse 5 effect of buffing all of the Imps by 2/2. Looking at the Shadow package of the list, we have Shadowborn, which reduces the cost of the highest Shadow spell in our hand by 3 after dying. Lady Darkvein, which summons 2 2/1 Shades that get Death Rattles to cast her last Shadow spell. And Shadow Waltz, our primary target for Lady Darkvein Shades, that summons a 3/5 Shadow with Taunt, as well as summoning an extra 1 if a minion died during the turn. This is a very powerful card in combination with Lady Darkvein's Shades, since if the Shades gain the Death Rattle to recast this spell, if a Shade dies, it should count as the death condition for the spell and summon 2 3/5 Shadows with Taunt. If the Shadow Waltz combo with Lady Darkvein does not line up in a game, you can also recast Impending Catastrophe, as it counts as a Shadow spell, and can give you some cycle to get more cards throughout the game. A final aspect of this deck list, since we're summoning a lot of token minions, is Caste Nathria, since he fits very well in minion-based playstyle lists, and can get us a very powerful endgame finisher. Overall, this list heavily falls into a more tempo or mid-range category style of list. It can build up and push a lot of stats very fast, especially with the location card, which is very powerful in this sort of deck. This deck list will of course be linked in the video description below. If you enjoyed the video, please consider commenting, liking, or subscribing. However, watching is all the support I could ask for. Once again, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you tomorrow for the Warrior deck.